this mental moment where small changes can have lasting ripples. Been talking about goals, and I'm going to continue to talk about goals today, but I'm going to take it kind of aside and look at habit formation. I remember as a kid, they had these commercials, and I can't remember which one of the cereals it was. It was like, eat this cereal for 21 days and you'll have a new habit, a healthy habit. Like, wow, 21 days. That's all we need for a habit. Sweet. No. Oh, Lord have mercy. No, 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 no. Okay, so this information comes from researchers at MIT, and they created what's called a habit formation. So it's not mine, I didn't come up with it originally, but it's very helpful because if we have this goal of doing a thing and yet we don't go through and create this habit formation, and therefore it doesn't become a habit, we're kind of sunk. Okay, so according to MIT, researchers, habits have this core system of a habit loop. It's a loop. Okay, so you have cue, a routine, and a reward. Cue is a reminder of the habit. Let's say your habit is to go to the gym 3 days a week. So your cue is you do certain things, like you leave out your work clothes in a bag in the car so it's ready to rock and roll. You set your alarm, or you set an alarm that goes off going, exercise, or bing, 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 we're going to the gym now. Some cues. So you have the clothes, you have that. Maybe you have the clothes in the bathroom. So when you get out of the shower, you're like, oh, it's gym day. Get on my clothes. Off I go. So it's a reminder. It's a cue. This is how we're going to do it. A lot of times we set cues on our phone. It goes off at a certain time, like, oh yeah, I got to go do that thing. Now, a routine, that's the actual doing of it. So my cue is I have my workout bag in the bathroom. So I get out of the shower, I dress, I look over, oh yes, and I put on my workout clothes. So I'm already ready. Woo! Grab my bag, out the door I go. So then I get in the car, I drive to the gym. Maybe part of that routine is getting up an hour earlier so I make sure I'm not late for work. So when I get there, say I get up at 5 a.m. I'm in the gym by 6, done by 7, back at the house, ready, dressed, on the road to work, whatever the case is. So your routine is going to be all those things that we do to engage with this thing we want, this new habit. We need to take some time and think about, what is that routine going to look like? How am I going to remind myself? That's my cue. What is it going to look like? So how do I do that? Planning all the stuff that I need to do includes waking up early, or let's say your goal, I always pick on weight and exercise because it's easy to see. Let's do something like save money. So my cue is I get paid. And so I get a little cue or reminder on my phone, ting, payday. And so then I know as soon as payday comes that morning, I check my bank balance and go, oh, and then move that money over to my account right away. Or I schedule it. And so that might come into routine. So my routine is I go online, I look at it, I move money. Okay, or I might have another cue, such as a big jar, sitting on the kitchen table where everybody can go by and put change in it. That's your cue. There's the jar. My routine is every day after I've come in at work, I just put the money in the jar. So it's the thing you do, okay, to engage with this habit. Okay, and reward. What I want to do is give ourselves an attaboy, pat on the back. And it can be a chemical, physical attaboy. Chemical, meaning like, woohoo, I did that. Yeah. And it feels good. High five to self, a little happy dance, something to celebrate doing this thing. You can be like using the bank analogy. It can be looking at every morning, looking at that bank balance going, whoo, look how I started, how much I've saved, or it could have a cue to save money. Might be, why are we saving money? For a house or something. So maybe on my wallpaper on my phone is the house, a dream house, or maybe it's something I put in the fridge, or maybe it's the picture I put on my jar. And my reward is looking at and chingling that jar and be like, maybe counting the money, or like if you got kids, taking it down to one of those machines and they can count it, or y'all do it together. But that's a reward. And replace them with new habits. And if you're wanting to do something new, starting with this cue, routine, and reward. Cue is the reminder. Routine is how you're going to engage with this new habit or behavior. And 3 is a reward. Don't forget your reward. All right. And bad news. It's not 21 days to a new habit. It takes anywhere between 66 and 254 days to establish a habit. That's a huge range, okay, for it to be completely formed. So it's so ingrained that you just do it without thinking. And that's why people, like to do the New Year's resolutions, and they'll do the month of January and think 30 days, okay, it's through. No, it's not. You need at least a couple of months, and sometimes a lot more than that, depending on the habit, depending on if you haven't replaced some of the other habits and you haven't looked at some of those self-sabotaging thoughts, a lot of these things. But one thing, if you take anything out of this, is cue, routine, reward, practice, practice, practice for a lot longer than you think. All righty. Thank you. Stay tuned for another episode on goals.